Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Paths Podcast. This is episode 8, and I'm your co host, Joseph.
I'm your co-host John, and right before we get started, just want to mention to you guys, if you guys want to catch up with us, you can follow us on our social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Everything's linked in the description below if you're watching on YouTube, and if not, then you can follow us at Paths Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and Podcast Paths on Twitter. If you guys could also give us a rating on Apple Podcasts, that'd be great. You can go ahead to the podcast app and, leave a comment what you think about the show. We'd
Yeah.
really appreciate that as well.
Today, we're going to be talking about something a little darker on the podcast. We're going to be talking about death. But let me explain. It's not as dark as you think, but we're going to be talking about like our impact that we leave and how people perceived us or how we will be remembered. Um, and this came up because I saw a TikTok about somebody asking these questions, and it was really thought provoking and really deep. And I wanted to talk about that with John. I didn't know if he was like going to be down for it for the podcast, but he was. So I guess the questions that we're answering is kind of like looking back in the third person, like reflect, like looking back on yourself. Um, what impact you feel like you would leave with other people, or how you think people will remember you. Um, it's like sad to think about, honestly, but we'll get
I don't
into
know.
it.
I think it's a little sad, yeah, but I also think it's a little satisfying. I don't know. I'm weird because I love
Satisfying.
I love talking about death, and like I've mentioned to you before that I would like to be at my
Yeah.
own funeral, and like
Yeah.
I make jokes all the time, like, "Oh, I'm not gonna wake up."
John, yeah, I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. Like we were like going to sleep, and then John's just like, "Watch me not wake up tomorrow." Like I was like, "What?"
Yeah, but yeah, it's like a really comfortable subject for me. Especially I think it's very fitting for this podcast because we're talking about the path that we want to take in life. So analyzing the end goal, I guess, and looking back from there. Kind of important, when we die, what path did we take in life? What did we do? Who did we affect, negatively or positive in a positive way? I think it has to do with our job, the what we decided to focus on career wise, family wise, and friendship wise. I think those are like the three main breakdowns.
The pillars.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
family slash relationship or friendship and career wise, right? Am I missing something? Or do you think that those are like top three?
Um, I think that those are the mainly the top three.
I guess let's talk about the first part then, career wise. Get that out of the
Mhm.
way.
Yeah.
What do you think if you were to die, say 30 years from now?
Oh.
Oh wait, no, how old are we?
I was like, oh damn.
Sorry.
But yo, you thought we were like old.
60 years from now, because we'll be technically 80. Whatever. Say you were to die 60 years from now, already
Okay.
retired. What
Hmm.
do you hope that your career was? Go.
Um, dang, you're just gonna throw me in the fire. I would think something that affected a lot of people, like positively, hopefully, impacting like a lot of people, kind of like this, like hopefully, I don't know. It's so hard to think about because
On a major
I don't know what I
scale.
want to do. I something that affects people positively and affects like a lot of people. But I don't know. For you, I have more stuff to say about other subjects. Like
Other
work is
subjects, but
definitely
not
not one of
career
them.
wise.
Yeah, career.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
that's
because I
okay,
know
I guess. At least
that's
you
it. Just
know,
positively, a lot of people positively.
yeah, at least you know that the path includes
Yeah,
changing somebody's life positively.
yeah,
I guess I would say it's the same thing. I mean, career wise, there's there's so many things that people think that define your success, and career is one of them, but there's other factors that I think go into that. Career wise, I hope I left a legacy with um my own business, whether I end up having children or not, or if I could pass it on to my family and not having to worry like when I'm older about bills or whatever. As
Yeah.
long as that's taken care of and I can live a not like a luxurious life, but a life where I don't need to worry about stress about money is ideal.
And for me also, just I'm not gonna talk about myself. I'm just thinking about like other people. Like I want other people to be happy and I want to leave something behind also to remember me by, something positive, whether it's like
You want to build a legacy. If you want to leave a legacy, then you that means you're planning on having somebody in the future or having kids
no,
or
no, not even that. I'm not even thinking like kids or family
so you,
wise, like passing stuff down. I'm thinking like passing it through other people that I don't even know. Like
so
people
you,
just
are you referring to like people remembering you?
that sounds so selfish.
No, like
No, no, no.
I don't know. The
Just
only
something
person that comes to
positive that I
mind is like
left
Martin Luther
behind.
King. Like Martin Luther King died, but he left his
Yeah,
legacy of like everyone knows who Martin Luther King is. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah. I don't know if I could ever be like more like that's different. That's like
No, I
revolutionary.
don't think anyone can be. Like,
That's a high bar. But yeah, something like that. Like something like when you think about certain things, like or you think about me as a person, you think about something positive. But I think this is not career wise. I just think this is just
personal wise, maybe that's
yeah,
something we
like
should add because maybe there's four things. Okay, career wise, family wise,
personal.
friendships, and then personal.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by
Like
personal?
how do you what kind of a person would you hope that you were?
Like
Like
regret?
no, not regret, but the person that when you die, you hope you were this type of person.
That's
We're not gonna
regret.
no,
I
no,
feel
no,
like you're
but
saying
not
I feel like you're saying like you want to be different.
no,
Like
no,
you
no,
wish you did something different
no.
to
Like
make you
when like say I were to die right now, what type of person was I? And that goes into like what type of
okay.
person will people remember
Like
me
you.
by?
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So if I
yeah.
die
So
in
like
80
that
years,
goes back to the
yeah,
question. That goes back to the
exactly.
question. Yeah, I'm thinking like dying right. Like if I died right now, like what would my
Goodbye.
like how would people view me? Like yeah, just right here. Like how would people remember me by and stuff like that. So we're thinking personal now. Let's go to that pillar. I don't even know. I can't think like how I'm gonna be like 80 years old thinking about how I was, Uh, so that's why I'm thinking about that. Like if I died right now,
Well, think about it now
because that's
because
what I initially thought about. Like when I thought
okay,
about the
think
question.
about think about 5 years from 5 years ago. Are you the same person that you are today? And then 5 years later, are you gonna be the same person that you are today? Right? And then maximize that
You
to
don't
like a
know.
bigger scale of
Yeah,
like 80 years, 60 years from now.
that's like saying you only have two people to impress, like 8-year-old you and 80-year-old you, and that's
Oh
all
my
that
god, I
matters.
like that. I
You
like
know,
that a lot.
like that's why you shouldn't worry about what other people think or something like that. Like you should only be trying to impress two people, and that's or make two people proud, and that's 8-year-old you and 80-year-old you. Like if they look forward or look like if you told 8-year-old you that right now, like, oh, I'm making a podcast when you're 19, you're gonna have a podcast that's trying to help younger people, like would that make them proud? Or if you like, are you proud of what you did like then? Something like that, I guess. Like are you proud that you did that? It's crazy to think about. But that's like the personal thing. You could think about that at any time. Like in any decision that you make, would 8-year-old me or 80-year-old me be proud, or and 80-year-old me be proud of that? Like trying to go for my dreams or not go for my dreams. Because 80-year-old you could be like could not leave a legacy because you didn't try to go and get something, and they could just be like, I'm not proud of myself that I didn't do something back then. And then 8-year-old you would be like, well, why are they doing that? Why is he sleeping all day? Or why is he being lazy? you know, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. That like I just thought about that right now. That's crazy.
My mind is like going crazy right now. I don't even know what to say. I don't
Why?
know
What
what
do
to
you
say
mean?
after. I
What
don't
do you
know.
mean?
Um, I feel like I've heard that, but I've never actually like sat down and like thought
Yeah,
about
me
that.
too. I just did. That's what I just did. I just sat
Yeah.
down and just thought about like different situations and stuff. But that's really what the personal column is. I mean, pillar is.
I mean, because everything you do is eventually gonna have a consequence. So
Yeah.
80, like you said, 80-year old you looking
Yeah.
back and being like, dang, why did I do that to myself back then that affected me now?
Yeah.
But
I
I
don't
also
know if
feel
like
like it's not always gonna be obviously like perfect. We're like, okay, I have to do this because 80-year-old me is gonna be happy with me. Because we have to make
yeah.
mistakes at the same time and
Yeah.
learn from them. And I think that's what is gonna make us better people when we're 80 years old,
Yeah. So
you
then when you do make these mistakes, then you could think of it as like how you bounce back from these mistakes. Like, and then you
exactly,
could
right?
be
And
like,
what you learn
would
from it
80-year-old
and
me be yeah, exactly. What
yeah,
80-year-old
what you
you
learn from it
be proud like
and
of how you bounce back and what you did, and an 8-year-old
yeah,
you also
and
can be proud
develop
of.
as a and continue to develop as a person then, because
Yeah.
you can't compare a 20-year-old with an 80-year-old who's lived so much more and experienced so much more when a 20-year-old probably hasn't, you know?
Hmm.
And those are like all those ridges and bumps that the 8-year-old has because of everything that they've lived,
Yeah.
so it ends up affecting the person that they grow up to be.
In terms of the family pillar, what I want to be remembered by is someone who cares about my family, someone who makes my family laugh, makes them happy. I don't know. That's pretty much like, I feel like happiness is just the most important thing. I saw this TikTok. Now we were talking about TikToks. I saw this TikTok and it was like this rumor that, I mean, just rumor, like theory that like three little kids know the secrets of the world, but then as you grow up, like you forget. And like he used to ask his son like every day, like when he was like 3, 4. I mean 3, he would be like, "What's the secret to happiness?" And then the kid would be like, "I can't tell you, it's a secret." And then when he turned 4, he asked him again, and then he's like, "What's the secret to happiness?" And then the kid says, "Oh, I forgot." And then he says, "What do you think the secret to happiness is?" And he was like, "Well, I think it's that your sister, your mother, and like all your other family members are happy, and that makes you happy." And then he was like, and then the kid leans in and he's like, "I knew you figure it out eventually." And it's like, what? Like, I don't know, just like stuff like that. Like, I feel like happiness and um, just like having fun, laughing with your family is like so important. And that's what I want to leave behind. Just like always being like happy with my family. I don't want to bring no bad stuff into the family and stuff like that. You know?
Mhm.
How do you feel
Mhm.
about that?
You're like breaking me apart on the inside
What,
with all
what
these
do
things
you
that you're
mean,
saying.
John? What? Well, that one wasn't like a thing from me. That was just something that I saw, and I just related it to what I said.
I kind of echo everything you say because I mean that's the true success that I would define it, right? Leaving my family with something to remember me that makes
Something
them
positive,
happy.
you
Yeah,
know?
something
Yeah,
positive.
yeah.
I don't know if I want to have kids. I really don't want to have kids.
You will.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay. Yeah.
so I don't know that aspect of,
Yeah.
if I do end up having like a family like that, but like the
But like
family,
that you
my
have.
family that I have now, it's like if I were to die now, I hope that they would remember me as like, funny, bring a smile on their face. Yeah, I hope I was a good influence,
Yeah.
a positive role model.
Life is so simple, but not simple. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah,
I
and
feel like life has a lot of like simple principles for like, or everyone has their own like little principles like for happiness, like what makes them happy.
there's basic fundamentals for everyone of the happiness, right? I guess you can
Yeah.
say like a basic fundamental of happiness for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But it then divides into these specific traits, I guess you can say, for every individual person. I think that's what
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to say. Like there's a principle and there's like laws,
Uh-huh.
correct?
Yes. I think I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
Bible
and then
reference,
like if you
biblical
just,
reference.
oh nice, we like that, and I feel like just like if we not abide by the laws and all that stuff, like it's not. I don't think it's that serious. I think if you just like live your life with those in mind and you try to have like good morals and stuff, then you'll be fine.
One thing I was just thinking about too is that I wouldn't want. How would you want your family to react when you die? Have you thought about that? Because I've always thought
How
about
would
that.
you want them to react?
Yeah.
I would want them to. Well, I feel like everyone's initial first reaction to death is sadness. So I wouldn't even know a different reaction, honestly.
Well,
Like, what
I
do you
mean, like,
like? What would it? What would an
like,
alternative
I
be?
mean, like, what you die right now, right? We both die right now. Think about it like that.
Boom.
Okay.
Yeah,
How some families like don't recover. Some family members don't recover from that. But what I'm saying is like I wouldn't want my mom to be crying like every day.
okay.
I would
Okay. Do
want
you
her
like the
like
long lasting effects type stuff?
right.
Like,
I'd be like, yo, if I die, I die. Like whatever.
okay. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I believe in a future resurrection, so I'm like, well, I'll see you in the future. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I feel so comfortable talking about death. And so I really
Yes.
like it's okay, like grieve for the moment, do whatever you need to
Yeah.
do, but then like move on with your life. And that's what I want for all my family members. It's like grieve
Yeah.
really quick and then like kind of
Okay.
like celebrate my life, like what I did and remember all the positive things and all the
Yeah.
achievements I had and moments we spent together and move on with
Exactly.
your life.
Yeah. I think my way of thinking is super similar also, but like with no religious basis, I guess you could
Hmm.
say. Like I don't really know if I like which specific I believe in, like heaven or hell or future resurrection and like coming back. But in terms of like just bare, like no religion involved, I guess you could say, or like what's happening right then and there. Um, I would just say something really similar, just like grieve for the moment, but then also remember and enjoy the like memories we've had and all the things that I've done and like stuff like that. Like it's the same thing that you said, but you know, just exactly. And eventually just like bounce back and just like not I guess not celebrate the things that we've done like the things that you
Like
remember,
not like
but
literally celebrate, but I mean like,
yeah, yeah. Like
figuratively
enjoy
celebrate.
it. Like
There you go,
enjoy it
enjoy
and
it.
like remember it with positive thought. Remember me with positive thoughts and just like be happy.
Okay, this is how my mom describes the pain of losing a child. She says, you lose a husband, you're a widow. You lose a parent, you're an orphan. You lose a child, there's no name. 'Cause
Mm.
it's something it's unimaginable. It's something you can't put a name on.
Mm.
That pain. I was like, hashtag facts.
And the last the last one, what was the last pillar that we said? Friendships? Ooh, this is a good
Friendships.
one. Yeah, I need time to think, actually.
I don't have a lot of friends.
That's what I was thinking too. That's why before I was thinking about like family and friends as a collective. But if we think about it separately, then it's like there's way less.
I don't have a lot of friends, but the friends that I do have, I guess I would say it's like that's why I want to be at my funeral. Like I want to
Uh,
be there to see everyone, to see who shows up, to see why they showed up, their reaction.
yeah,
I
no,
guess it
but
is a little selfish,
that doesn't even prove anything though, because like you won't know if they actually miss you or not. You know,
but I don't know. There's something about like me just
of course
I
they'll go to
always
the
like
funeral.
I always like imagine myself like standing all the way in the back of my funeral.
I mean, we talked about this already before, but like Keanu Reeves, like he had like a sad life, and then on a talk show, the host asked him like, "Well, what do you think happens after we die?" Because he's lost like his daughter and his wife and like a bunch of people. He's experienced loss a lot, and he said, "Well, I know that the ones who love us will miss us," and like that's so true. Like that's such a short sentence, but it's so true because like people can go to your funeral, they can say that they care about you and all that, but not until you die. Like you don't see nobody like who cares. Like you won't know like who loves you sincerely and like enough to care about you and
Well, I
grieve about
mean,
your death.
you kind of find that out while you're alive, but I also feel that there's people hidden in the backgrounds that maybe we don't pay attention to, you know?
Yeah,
And there's no way of us to tell whether or not they're feeling that at our funeral we're dead, you know? So
yeah, we wouldn't know honestly. But
and
in terms of friends, I feel like if I died right now, I feel like a lot of people would don't know me well enough to just like mourn me.
but
people
would you be bothered by the fact like if you were to die right
people
now
don't know me.
and no, but if you were to die right now, you know everyone from high school would, have a reaction. Would you be bothered by that?
Have a reaction to my death because I
Yeah.
died earlier than everybody else.
Like if
If
suddenly like people you
God
haven't
forbid.
spoken to in forever start
Yeah.
posting like, "Oh my God,
Oh
I'll miss you, I'll
jeez.
miss you," stuff like that.
Uh
What's your opinion on that? And then I'll give my 2 cents.
honestly, that's just like let's give a like a metaphor or analogy right here. Let's say it's just like the congratulations is huge, but the support is like that. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it
Mhm.
reminds me of. Like when just like how when we started this podcast, let's say, and the congratulations, No, I'm not throwing no
No,
shade.
no,
I
I'm just
swear.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
But the congratulations to start it and do it is huge, and the congratulations like to do all that stuff is great. But the support during the struggle,
Windows down to the real ones.
yeah, for real. But during it and like the support is like where you know. I don't want to throw no shade, but I'm just saying that's what it reminds me of.
No, and you're 100% right because it's I feel like I don't know. I don't know if
I wouldn't
anyone
know
would
how to
from
read.
high
I don't
school
wouldn't
would
know.
care though if
Exactly,
if I
that's what
were
I'm
to
saying.
die.
They'd be like, that kid in the back of my biology class. What?
Right. I feel
you
like
know?
they'd be like, "Oh, I went to school with him." Like, "Oh, okay." Like, "Damn, that sucks." Move like they don't care,
Yeah,
you know?
and it's
And
really sad. But like
no,
no,
but
but
I don't think it's
that's
sad
why I
because
wouldn't really care anyway because
exactly because I don't really it's
but like the thing is like nobody knows, very few people know, like very few of those people that I talked to in high school and stuff, they know the real me, like know who I am actually. Like all those people just like acquaintances and all that stuff, like whatever. But um I don't really care about them. Like if
right,
they
but
were sad, then I'll be like, okay,
at the same time, there were moments. This is what I'm just thinking about now. There were moments
like good
when we
memories.
shared, yeah, a good memory or a good experience with somebody who we might not. Maybe we spoke to like only for like
Wow.
a month at a time.
Yeah, and then let's say if we pass, then they'll remember that.
They'll remember that exactly. And their grief becomes valid. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. And just like I guess the people that you're friends with for like a year or two, like let's say in high school, and like I was friends with a lot of like some people in high school, and I feel like sometimes I would be like the real me and just like be myself, and with them, and we've had great memories, and I think that they will grieve, like if I were to go, like thinking
yeah,
back,
it
like
brings up
thinking
a
in
lot
the
of
third person.
questions.
Yeah,
I mean, I hope they think of me as a good friend.
yeah,
If I were to die, I hope they see that I was able to support them in whatever way that I could and was there for them when they needed me. I mean, a good friend is loyal, gives you help when you need it, and motivates you to be better. So I hope that they remember
yeah.
me like that.
Yeah, see, like stuff like that, like thinking like that just motivates me to try to make it like just be kind of like that, like 5 second like happiness for somebody, like even people I don't know, like just like smiling at them or something, like just like small stuff like that. It just like makes me feel like I'm doing something for other people. And that I want that feeling to expand like and get bigger to the point where I can like influence people. I feel like that's what I think I'm getting at.
Mhm.
I remember in middle school there was a kid who had a disease, uh, and he wasn't expected to live long, but I know nobody talked to him because of what he had. And I know that people didn't talk to him and he was always alone, but then he passed. Then everybody was like really sad about it and stuff like that. but like nobody really knew him. It just makes you sad, you know. And then everybody used to say like, oh, he was super nice, like he was super nice, and they did remember like the good things that he did or something like that. And it's kind of like what we talked about in the first episode, like don't judge a book by its cover and stuff like that, because people knew he was nice, you know, like if they're saying that like when he passed and they remember the good things that he did, but they didn't talk to him after that just because of like how other people would think that, like how other people would like think about them just because they were hanging out with him and stuff, and then he passed, and then it's just like everybody's like he was so nice and everybody was crying and stuff, but like nobody really knew him or nobody was really like a close friend to him, you know. So like
Yeah.
that's why now I try to like just be so inclusive for other people, you know, and like just try to be nice to everybody you meet,
It's
you
just the
know.
sadness and the unknown and the guilt.
Yeah,
You know,
that's why I was crying.
it goes to like, somebody said this or I heard this somewhere. It was like if you walked into a room with all the people you've ever, ever came across, had a conversation with, said hello to,
Yeah,
um,
go.
who would you go to? You know, who would you look for? And I guess it's
And
the
that's what I
same
was
way.
thinking about.
Is anyone gonna be looking for us? You know, when they walk in the room.
mm, mm,
I hope so.
yeah, for real. Yeah.
I want to say,
I'm trying to think. I was just like, have I been that important to somebody, you know?
oh, you're important to me.
Oh, thanks, John. You're important to me too. That's crazy.
Um,
That's crazy to think about. And what I was gonna say that you said was like the you heard that somebody said that the people you meet throughout your life is just like the people that you're gonna, what was it? Invite to your funeral.
oh my God, yeah. Everyone you meet in your life is just like somebody that you're gonna be
I
inviting to your
forgot
funeral. I
to,
forgot it. Dang.
yeah.
Oh,
Damn, bro.
you meet people in life just to invite them to your funeral. Sorry, I'm laughing because you know the whole thing. Like, I just remember it was a TikTok that I saw about the walking into a room with everyone.
Yep.
Who would you go to? Somebody commented the door to leave. I was like, oh my God,
That's so
yes.
messed up.
There's a few people I feel like I'd want to
Like,
make sure we're there. But again, like the whole like
yeah,
just getting to those people, you have to go through a bunch of other people, you know, and that's basically what our life was, you know, going through a bunch of other people to find the people who are gonna end up being in our life.
yeah.
Um,
Blessings and blessings.
yeah, exactly. Do you think a lot
Yeah.
of people would go to your funeral? I don't think a lot of people would go to my funeral. Actually, scratch that. I do think a lot of people go to my funeral. I feel like my
Cause you know a lot of
congregation,
people.
no, my congregation would go. I feel like you would go. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, duh.
Um,
This sounds
my my
so weird. This sounds so weird. This sounds like we're talking about like a birthday party or something, and it's just like, but it's so negative, you know. Like, I feel like you would go to my funeral. Duh, like, stop.
you're invited.
Oh, thanks for the invite.
Like,
No, that's
please
so bad.
RSVP.
By this let's think like high school,
Yeah.
bro. Half the
People from
freaking school would go to to your funeral.
what? First of all,
No,
I don't even
a
think
lot
that
of
it
people
would
would
come to
go though.
Carney.
A lot of people would
No,
go though. A lot
I
of
don't
people
think
would go.
so. I feel
I
like a
think
lot
a
of
lot of
people
people
would post, maybe,
in our grade.
maybe,
Oh, okay, okay,
maybe we
yeah.
see posts, but I don't think a lot of people would go. I'm
Mm,
okay with that.
that's
I
like,
feel like you know what type of friends are gonna show up to our funerals? The type of people who wanted to get close to us, but just
mm,
never wanted to reach out, and then we never reach out because
mm.
sometimes we
See,
think
that's why you gotta reach out. That's what I'm saying. No
exactly
regrets.
because sometimes we think like,
No
oh, they're too
regrets.
busy, they don't want to talk to me, and then the other person thinks
Yeah,
like, oh, they're not reaching out to me, and they have to reach out first to me for me to know that they care about me.
yeah.
But
Mm-mm.
then it creates
No
like that
regrets.
like sometimes you communicate and then it's like cut off, you
Yep.
know, because nobody wants to do it anymore. And when somebody
Yep.
does it, the other person doesn't. Whatever. But I feel like those
Yeah,
type of
bro.
people also show up at your funeral because it's like regret.
Yeah. That's why you can't live with no regrets. And yeah, just I mean, like hit people up. It's way deeper than just like friendship. Like
Man, come on, you want to have
it
mad
can
people
get
at your
way deeper.
funeral, right?
Yeah, I know. You trying to have not. I don't even know if I want that many people
In general, to
in
sum
general.
everything up,
Yeah,
basically the path
live
that we
your
want to look
freaking life.
that we want to look back on is just live a happy life.
Live
Um,
with no regrets.
live live being influential, leave a legacy, whether it's type of person you were,
I mean, some people don't
career
want to do that.
wise. I mean, legacy, I mean, like, it could be something physical, but it could also be something, memory
Oh,
wise.
okay.
I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, you want to make sure that you're staying in touch with people because it could happen at any moment, realistically. And I mean, this pandemic has taught that to all of us, so make sure that you're expressing everything while you can.
The only people you have to make proud are 8-year old you and 80-year-old you, and that's it.
I'm not gonna say anything. I agree
You
with
don't
that,
even
but I
have to make your
also
parents proud. I
okay.
really saw
We'll
a lot
talk
of
about
parents
that
proud.
another day.
Why? What do you mean?
Like, you want to
People
make
want
yourself
you to be
proud, but how can you make yourself proud if you're not making other people happy as
uh,
well
but that could
with
be
what
it.
you're doing?
No, but that could be like that could be the reason. Like that could be the catalyst. That could be the thing that makes them proud, makes 8-year-old you and 80-year-old you proud. So that's
Oh,
what
okay.
you know what I mean? It makes sense.
Yes.
Love makes the world go round. Facts. And that's
Hashtag
it.
facts. Hashtag
Hashtag
pass.
facts.
Hashtag podcast.
And that's the end of the 8th episode.
Thank you everyone for tuning into episode 8. Make sure that you
Yeah.
follow us on all our social media. Reach out to us on Instagram, TikTok, any ideas or topics you want us to talk about, or certain careers you want us to get. We're trying to get more guests on this podcast because it was one of the original
Yeah.
intents. So we're going to be working
Yeah.
on that. Make sure you follow us on Spotify and rate us on Apple Podcasts. And if you do want to donate and support us, you can at anchor.fm/pass-podcast/support.
Hmm.
It's long, but it'll be linked in all our descriptions
Yeah.
and our social media.
Yeah. We hope you guys enjoyed. This one got a little deep and it got a little sad. I mean, we laughed a lot, but I still like feel like I got a little sad. But I like
I
conversations
don't
like
think it was
that.
bad.
Like I like that. I like that it was deeper and
I feel like we could have gone deeper. So if anyone like
yeah.
wants specific questions about death related
Oh my
topics,
God. No, don't say that.
no, but I mean, long term,
Deeper
like
questions. Deeper
deeper
questions.
questions about death.
I love when stuff like that.
Just let us know on our
If you
social
want.
media. We'd be more than happy
Yeah.
to continue talking about it. Part two.
Of course. Thank you guys.
Um,
And that's episode 8 done. Woo. Oh, that's 7.